Okay. Just so you know, I'm recording off of Screen-O-Matic so I can upload my speech. So if you see that, that's what's on my screen. Just give me a second.
Read the word. Whoa. Mm-hmm. Oh. Uh-huh. No. Okay.
Okay, so that was my 5-year-old son, Merrick, and he is actively learning how to read right now. And it's been a lot of fun teaching him how to read, and he has great teachers, so it makes it a little bit easier. Did you know that 1 out of 4 children in America will grow up without learning how to read? Or that 1 out of 3 children who do not read by grade level by the end of 3rd grade will not graduate high school? This is why people everywhere need to read. They need to read more books because they receive many benefits, both individually and as a society as a whole. Some benefits include stress reduction, mental stimulation, knowledge and memory improvement. Have you ever been so stressed out that you're overwhelmed and you feel like this live wire and you can barely function? Well, a 2009 study in Sussex found that leisure reading for just 6 minutes a day can reduce stress by 68%. It's better than any other form of trying to relax, better than meditation or even going for a run or a walk. Psychologists believe that this is because it makes your brain concentrate solely on the literary world that you're reading about, allowing all the other distractions that you're facing to just melt away and not become as in your face or as apparent as they are. Reading actually relaxes your body by lowering your heart rate and easing the tension in your muscles. Reading has also been proven to reduce Alzheimer's and dementia, and this is because of mental stimulation. Ugh. Your brain is a muscle, and the more you use it, the more you exercise it, the stronger it will become. And if you choose not to use it, you are not making it as strong as it possibly could be. And if it's not as elastic and as strong as it could be, you are going to lose cognitive function as you get older. So it seems like an easy fix. You read more, your brain gets stronger. But more than 26% of American adults have not even read part of a book within the last year. There is this whole bunch of knowledge just sitting there, not being used and not being taken advantage of. And did you know that when archaeologists find where people have lived thousands and thousands of years ago, that they don't count it a civilization until they find written language down? I thought that was really interesting. Once they find the written language, they then define it as a civilization. If we do not use our books and our knowledge, we're going to lose it. No matter what happens in this life, our knowledge stays with us. We can lose our house, we can lose our car, we could even lose our family, but it's never going to be taken from us. In Doctrine and Covenants, section 130, verse 19, it says, "And if a person gains more knowledge and intelligence in this life through his diligence and obedience than another, he will have so much more the advantage in the world to come." Here we receive a spiritual promise from our Heavenly Father that if we actively strive and try to attain knowledge, we will be blessed by keeping that knowledge in the world to come. Knowledge is very important, as it is important in a way that it's how we keep our culture, it's how we keep important things to us, and it's how we teach the next generation. let me remind you that 1 in 4 kids will not learn how to read. Being a mother, this is very important to me as I have young children. And teaching them to read is not easy. It's hard and they don't like it, and sometimes it's stressful. But their teachers often tell me, if you do nothing else with your child, please read to them. It's a pretty simple promise to read to your child. But when you read a story to your child or to yourself or to a loved one, you have to follow those characters. You have to follow the backgrounds and the history of the book. Every memory that you create from that book creates a new synapse in your brain, which strengthens existing synapses in your mind. 30 million American adults read at below basic level. And on top of that, 50% of those adults cannot read an 8th grade book. But if we practice reading, and if we're reading out loud because we're not very good readers, we're going to train our brain to learn how to read. We're going to become better. And we're going to be able to help our children and the future generations so that they might know what we've done with our lives. I had a really hard childhood growing up. And I read this book in 1999, and I was 7 years old when it came out. It's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which is very popular now. But now I get to read that book to my children. And even though they're 5 and 7, they don't grasp a lot of the storyline, but they love the fact that I read to them. Dr. Wade Fisher, director at North Central University, said this about reading. Reading expands a person's appreciation toward another's life experiences. The reader is not personally experiencing. In short, reading can create empathy for another. We can learn about another person's life, about their circumstances. We can learn about another culture and the things that they have gone through. I used to be a major history buff, and one thing that I loved to read about was what people experienced in hard times. And one of the things that I read about was the Holocaust. How could I learn about the suffering of so many people if I did not read about it? Why wouldn't we want to pass empathy on to our children, on to the next generation, or to make ourselves more empathetic? I challenge you, pick up a book and read. Visit your local library and read to young children. Strengthen your own mind and theirs. Take 6 minutes out of your day to reduce the stress that you are experiencing and exercise your brain. You will be amazed at all of the changes in your life because you choose to pick up a book. Okay, I'm all done.